follows on for a conversation in one of my groups, talking about making mistakes. And for those of you that have spent years sewing, you know that's something that doesn't ever stop. So I thought we'd talk about one of my favourite pieces of equipment, and that's my seam ripper. So for those of you that are not familiar with them, they'll come, get them in various sizes. You usually have one side here with a point on it. On the small point here, you'll see there's usually a little bit over the end, just to stop it from being sharp and sticking into things. Along that inside edge there's a cutting edge, so these are very useful. So I spent years, probably when I'm using it, probably just going like that and getting behind, sort of easy stitches behind and pulling it. Sometimes when you're on the end and it's well stitched, that's the only way to go. Another way that I saw that was recommended is if you slide the long point under, and every 3 or 4 stitches push it through and just snip through that stitch all the way along the seam that you want to undo. And I'd always do the one near the end. And when you go to the other side, just use that just to ease it up, and the thread on the back will come off. You've got your little tails from the front, but that is obviously a quicker way than doing stitch by stitch on your seam that you want to undo. Alright, so another way that you can use it, this is why we've got a covered end on it, just going to unstitch those end bits. Where you've got your covered point, that wants to go onto the inside of your seam, and you're just going to run it down and snip. It just runs down. Now what I tend to do is keep checking, because if you get any build up and if you feel any resistance at all, then stop, because you don't want to actually go through, which is why I'm holding it either side, just to make sure that the fabric's taut on both sides, to make it easy to slide it through. And that's another quick way of undoing a seam that you need to unpick. So if you have any other uses for your seam ripper, any other tips that you can pass on, be pleased to hear them. I've actually got 2 or 3 of these because they always go walkabout, and by having more than one I can be assured that when I need one it's there on hand. So there's a trusty seam ripper.